Welcome to Real Talk, Real Women. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and today we have the author of Breaking the Chains of Obesity, 107 Tools, fitness expert, national presenter, and former captain of varsity cheerleading, Jenn Zerling, on the show. Welcome, Jenn. How are you?
What's up, girl?
I'm fine. How are you?
This is so cool, man. It's like you're so many miles away, and here you are in my place, and we're here to hang out. So I'm doing great. This is awesome.
Amazing. I always like to start out by asking my guests how they got interested in health and fitness in the first place. What's your story, Jenn?
Well, I was actually always an athlete growing up. I was a cheerleader. I pride myself on being captain of varsity for CHSN, baby. For all the people out there who know what that is. The rest of the world's like, huh? But I was an athlete my whole life. And, luckily I come from, two parents who love to train. My mother, not as much now, but my dad, he's a tennis player. He's always gotten the kids active. So, we've always been active our entire lives, but here's the deal. I didn't want to be a fitness expert growing up. I wanted to be on stage because I sing as well. So the funny part is when I was in college, I went to SUNY Albany, which is a really awesome academic program, upstate New York. And a guy just recruited me at Bally Total Fitness to be on his team. So I was like, I don't want to be a trainer. And he's like, well, come on, you look great. Your energy's awesome. And I'm like, I belong on Broadway. But I did that. I did a lot of stage work, and I realized that training was for me. So that's the short story of the long story. But it's been 13 years now, and it's what I'm cut out to do, and it's my calling.
You are a renowned fitness expert and published your own book called Breaking the Chain of Obesity, 107 Tools. And the origin of that title is a great story in itself. Can you share that story with us?
Yes, it's funny because I sat next to an author on a plane. I was going to a conference in Las Vegas, and he said that he was an author, and I said, oh. He's like, what do you do? I said, I'm a fitness expert, and I'm like, that's cool that you're an author. I always wanted to write a book, but, who has time for that? And he was like, you strike me as the kind of girl that's going to have several books out. And I'm like, no. Now, ironically, I was a communication major undergrad, so it all ties in, believe it or not. I just didn't realize I was going to have a book out. It's just weird. But, I put together an outline of all the things I do with my clients, and it turns into a toolbox of how to break your chains of very poor habits. And, I use it all in my corporate wellness programs and with all of my clients. So it's doing well.
And you've actually worked with leading companies such as BMW, implementing your strategies and training. How can business leaders benefit from a corporate wellness program? And what is the first step they can take towards implementing something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially nowadays with obesity going rampant in America, a lot of leaders in corporations are seeing the benefit of hosting a corporate wellness program in their facility. There is a budget for it. It's just a matter of having leaders that see the value in it, where if you get your people healthy, they're going to have better performance, they're going to think clearer, they're going to be happier, they're going to want to come to work because there's a lot of perks of being there. But the more fit you are, and you know this, the more fit you are, the happier you are, the better your mood is, the more productive you are, the less sick you are. And getting into that corporate wellness sector is really the wave of the future. And I believe the more leaders who realize that and look at their budgets and say, you know what, I'm going to contact, even if they contact me, I'd be more than happy to set them up with somebody in their area that can go to the facility and ensure that their people get what they need. So it's really not that hard. You just got to reach out and, start the process and go from there.
Right. And at some point, writing a book wasn't even considered a possibility to you. How did your mindset shift, and what lesson have you learned from that process?
Oh my goodness, patience is everything. And you're writing your book, so I can imagine how you feel. You got to first have a goal in mind, like anything else in life. You got to ask yourself, what is the point of this book? There's a lot of diet books out there, and every time I read a diet book, because, I like to see what other experts are saying, and I realized, first of all, the material is very boring. No one wants to learn the science jargon of, what happens with the molecules in the body. Like, some people are like, oh, okay. But the question is, how does that apply to me? I mean, here I am, 200, 250-pound woman, and I'm feeling very bad about myself. I've tried many, many diets out there. What makes me feel like, any of these books actually mean anything to me? So what I did was I wrote, Breaking the Chains of Obesity, which is non-scientific. Okay, it's science-driven, but the words itself are very non-technical. And I think that a lot of people could appreciate that because you don't have to spend hours reading the thing. You read 3 pages at a time and you learn how to actually incorporate that into your day-to-day stuff. Remember in high school, Miriam, where you had to do exercises at the end of every chapter? That's my book. So you read the tool and then you have to implement it into your lifestyle by answering the questions and doing the tool.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
It's funny because I've met a lot of experts, medical experts, and just people who are very well established in their careers. And I've noticed a pattern with all of these amazing people, and that is they all do outreach. They volunteer their time to educate people, but to also service people who can't afford, medicine or medications. So they'll even fly to other countries and offer, not only their expertise, but their love and their compassion for humanity. And I've always had that drive in me to help as many people as possible, which is why being a fitness expert has really served me well. But now that I've done it for so many years, it's like, what's next? I want to reach out to the people who can't afford me as a trainer or who can't, afford all of the things that, necessarily that they think they need to be successful. And the American Diabetes Association, there's so many diabetic patients out there who don't even know they're diabetic. But the ones who do know they're diabetic, it's very unmanaged. And, hopefully if they see someone loves and cares about them and wants to offer them viable tools that they can utilize, then over the course of time, maybe they can really manage their disease. And, that means the world to me if I can help them with that.
And you also work for the JK Living program, right?
Yes, listen to this. Matthew McConaughey has beautiful kids, and because he's a huge actor, anytime people take a photo of an actor's children, they get, royalties and monies, for the pictures, essentially. The paparazzi pay them so that they can use the photo and then they get paid. But anyway, he took all of the money he made off of those photos and he put it into this establishment called JK Living, Just Keep Living. And it's used in high schools that have, under-established budgets. Usually it's underprivileged kids who come from broken up families, and it's basically his goal of the program is to set these kids straight so that they don't become criminals, so that they're happy and they get physical fitness in their life and they learn about health and nutrition. So I go there once a week and these kids are very grateful. We have a gratitude circle every week and they go around and the things they say, they're thankful that they have water. They're thankful that they have food on their table. They're thankful that they woke up this morning. And, we live in a world where people take life for granted. And you got these other people who are just happy for the very basic things in life that we don't realize we should be grateful for. So, it also keeps me in check that, life is a precious gift. And it draws into what I do for a living, which is to treat your body like a temple and to truly love yourself because that is what life is all about.
Yes, I agree. I'm lucky enough to feature you as a co-author for our upcoming Real Talk, Real Women book. And in your chapter, you ask the question...
You're such a doll.
Sorry? Oh.
No, I said you're such a doll face for putting that together, and you're such a beautiful human being. It's amazing how the internet can draw people together, and there's some really great people that are out there in the world, and what you're doing, Miriam, is just off the charts, amazing. I respect you, and your career is going to take off because now you're in the position of leadership. So good job with that.
Oh, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me, Jen. In your chapter, you ask the question, what is success? What is your definition of success, Jen?
Success is very simply put, if you can define for yourself or complete the sentence, I will be happy when, okay? If you find yourself saying things that are outside of yourself, for example, I'll be happy when I'm rich. I'll be happy when I'm married. I'll be happy when I get a brand new car. Those things outside of you is not success to me, because what I've learned in the years I've been on this beautiful planet is happiness and success comes from your mind and your connection to your capabilities within yourself. So what I mean by that is, how do I feel successful every year? Every year I set goals. Okay, I meet with my girlfriend Megan. She's a biologist, very successful girl as well. And we sit down over a cup of tea for hours and we talk about what our goals are for next year and we write it down. So for example, this year my goal was to get a lot of publicity for breaking the chains of obesity, because my next thing that I want to do is build tools, physical tools that people can use for their journey of weight loss. And in January, February, even March, I'm going to be rolling out a phone application for journaling. So that's one of my goals for this year, even though it's being rolled out next year. It took me over a year to build that. Okay, so that's success to me because it's done and now it's in the hands of the people building the phone app. So that's just an example of many.
And I pulled a very powerful quote from your chapter. Being successful is an attainable state of being, no matter who you are and what you do. I love that. Unfortunately, a lot of people still directly link success to a lot of money, for example. What advice can you give them?
My response is I work with the wealthiest people of the world, and I would say, unfortunately, many of them are not happy. So that to me is not successful. They're not healthy. They're not happy. Some of them have broken up marriages. Success to me is feeling very comfortable in your own skin, no matter what you weigh, no matter what culture you come from, no matter what you do. There's a guy that works in my building and he is bent over and he could barely lift his head up because he's got spinal disorder. He must be in his 70s. And every single day that I see him, he has a big smile on his face and he says, "Good morning. How are you today?" That's a successful person because he's living the life of someone who's happy, someone who finds comfort and love for what he's doing, and he just finds the joy of being alive. So find something that's measurable and achieve that one goal at a time so that you could truly understand what success feels like.
You also touch upon the role of passion when it comes to being successful. How important is passion for you?
Charles Glass is a world-renowned bodybuilding personal trainer at Gold's Gym in Venice. And today he walks into the club and he has this aura of just positive, loving energy. And I said to him, "Why are you always happy? I want to just know a one-sentence answer as to why you're always happy." And his response is, "I love what I do." Okay, so to be successful, you have to love what you do. You can't just do something that makes you a lot of money, because a lot of people who do things that they don't like and don't make money, those are two issues. But if you do something that you love and you don't make a lot of money, there's areas of opportunity, okay? Because as long as you possess passion, you're going to have the mental perseverance and motivation to move in a direction where you could actually explore your capabilities and talents and ultimately rise to the next level each year. So passion is everything. As an athlete my entire life, if I didn't possess passion, then I wouldn't win, right? You gotta have it in your heart so that you could ultimately succeed at anything you put your mind to.
Right, absolutely. And a lot of people struggle to find their true calling of their passion. What advice could you give around it?
Well, it doesn't hurt to dabble in a couple of things. If you feel like you haven't found your passion yet, especially if you're young, even if you're older, sometimes we change venues and avenues. Life is it's like a book. You write a chapter every single year of your life. And if you could ask yourself, when I read last year's chapter, what do I want to read? Okay, and if you could look at your life as a story, it really creates this amazing feeling of, this is what I've accomplished so far. Where do I see myself tomorrow? And if you don't know the answer to that, start surrounding yourself with different types of people, different than what you're used to. Go to different social networking events, get involved in gym classes, go out, to lunch and dinner with new people, and just listen. Be a good listener and allocate a certain amount of time where you just say to yourself, I'm going to surrender my thoughts. I'm going to try new things, And maybe I'm going to go back to school. Maybe I'm going to get certified in something. Maybe I'm going to volunteer. Do something with yourself over the next 6 months. And then eventually you're going to say, wow, I like doing this. And there's your answer.
I love that. And you've shared so many great tips and powerful lessons. Where can people go to learn more about you and connect with you on the internet?
Oh, thank you for asking. It's jzfitness.com and your fitness tips on YouTube. So either or, I do a newsletter, Miriam. It's called the JZ Fitness Times, and I encourage everybody to opt in. It's a free newsletter, and my only goal is to educate people and, share some JZ love.
Is there anything else you would like to talk about today that you feel we've missed?
Gosh, I could talk all day, so that's a very loaded question, Miriam. But I'm actually going to South Bay BMW. I'm going to be doing my corporate wellness program. And, if you're listening to this show and you are a leader of a corporation and you want to know how to bring corporate wellness to your facility, check out my website, jzfitness.com. Reach out to me. Like me on Facebook, JZ Fitness. And I don't know if you could see, but JZ Fitness, not the most appropriate of places, but just so you could see. I really, really, really want to get this country veering away from obesity because we can. So let's break the chains of obesity.
Absolutely. And I will make sure to put your links below this video.
You're the bomb. Thanks again, Miriam.
Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Mwah. Good night. Go to bed. Get some rest.
Thank you. And thank you so much for watching. My name is Miriam Khalladi. For more inspiration, check out our book at realtalkrealwomen.com.